How's everyone doing? Today I have a Blu-ray and DVD collection update with 9 pickups right here. If you've seen any of these movies, definitely let me know what you think of them, and let me know which one of these is your favorite, and let me know which one I should watch first, because I've only seen one of these and it's been a long time. And first up is the animated movie Superman Man of Tomorrow. This is a 4K Ultra HD release. Warner Brothers sent this over to review. I did not request it, it just appeared. Sometimes that happens. But this comes out September 8th, I believe. And I will say that the DC anime movies, I think, some of them are really amazing, and especially lately, better than the live action films from the DC universe. So I would definitely recommend checking out, if you like, the comic book movies, especially DC universe, checking out the animated titles that have been released from Warner Brothers, because they have some really good ones. And I'm looking forward to checking this one out. I will say though, the artwork on the front cover and the back, I don't really care for it. But I've seen a clip already, and the animation style isn't like this. It's like the typical ones that you've seen from the DC animated universe, so I'm looking forward to it. It sounds like it's just going to be like an origin story of Superman and how he has to fight Lobo, actually, who I always loved that character. I thought he was awesome. I remember in the comic books and stuff like that, he was just badass, really kind of fun, almost like if you like the Deadpool kind of character, kind of like that. He's an intergalactic bounty hunter. But then Superman also has to fight this alien parasite right here, this villainous character, and save the world, essentially. So I'm looking forward to checking this one out. Again, I've really liked the DC animated ones. And once I view all of these, I'll do proper reviews, more in depth, talking about them. And this is the 4K Ultra HD release. It has several different iterations. A lot of times the DC releases, they'll have like a, maybe like a Target exclusive or something like that, or Best Buy exclusive, depending on which one it has, but like a little figure and stuff like that. But I like the 4K releases, the slip covers. I'm kind of getting away from like steel books and editions with figures and stuff like that, and preferring the ones just like the slip cover. Steelbooks to me, I still like some of them, but there's a bunch of mine right there. But a lot of times, especially if I'll get them from like other countries, like Zavvi, for instance, I feel like I've stopped getting from Zavvi because they always come damaged. It's a pain to, they want me to ship it back first, and then they'll reimburse me, and I usually just end up just keeping it. But speaking of a little damage, I got Oklahoma Crude. This is from Twilight Time, which no longer is releasing Blu-rays, which is a shame because I really like them as a company. And however, mine came damaged right there. You can see that's actually pretty badly damaged, and it goes through a little bit on the case, but more so the artwork, which I guess I'll go ahead and take out and show you right there. But I don't think there's any left of this one. I think it's out of print now, and again, they're not making any more Blu-rays of any titles. So I think, I haven't checked it out yet. I think, I'm just going to go ahead and stick with this one. That is pretty badly damaged for me, but, there's nothing left, nothing they can really do. I'd rather have the movie, but I like the cast in here a lot, too. George C. Scott and Jack Palance, Faye Dunaway. It's a Stanley Kramer film. And George C. Scott, I've watched a few films from him recently. I've seen a bunch over the past, but I recently watched another Twilight Time movie, The Hospital, which he was excellent in. And I think he deserved an Oscar nomination for that role. But he was the first actor to decline an Oscar. He actually, he didn't want to be nominated for, he won for Patton, but he was also nominated afterwards too. For Oscars, and he said he didn't want to be nominated, declined the nomination, but you still nominated. He said he didn't feel like he needed to compete with other actors, and he felt like it was a competition, and he called the Oscars a meat parade, which I thought that terminology just always stuck in my mind. Basically, the Academy, pitting what he, kind of said was, they pit the actors against each other, which I don't really necessarily think is the case. It's a celebration, obviously, one person's going to win while others don't, but I don't know, it's kind of, I always looked at it as a celebration of film and history. A lot of people aren't a big fan of the Academy Awards. I am. I like, just, I don't know, the pageantry of it and just the history of it as well. But this one right here, this is from 1973, and it's kind of set in pre-World War I, the oil boom, and let's see, Faye Dunaway right here is a wildcatter, which is like somebody who would like drill holes like randomly and stuff, not where like some of the oil is. But I guess she must, have some property with some oil on it, because there's a big conglomerate represented by Jack Palance, who's I guess trying to says fight the depredations. So they're trying to steal the land, I guess the property from her plunder. And George C. Scott, he's a rough and tumble oil field drifter who's going to help her out. So I like the people involved in the film. So let me know what your favorite George C. Scott movie is. He's done a ton of great films. He's a great actor for sure. I just think of some of his roles and just also just talking about the Academy and stuff like that. But I'm looking forward to checking this one out. Twilight Time again. I'm really disappointed that they're not around making Blu-rays anymore because I thought they did an amazing job. The films that they chose and just you could see the heart that they were actually fans of cinema and film for releasing, because each one of their films, sometimes newly commissioned artwork, interior artwork, a booklet, just a little simple things like this on the back where they have these little boxes in here that'll tell you like the runtime, all the technical aspects, and then the year it was made and things like that. Again, they're limited to 3,000 copies typically. Sometimes it varies, but most of the time it's 3,000 copies. And yeah, I don't know, simple thing like that though. Like a lot of times I'll be searching on the back of a movie for what year it was made and how long the runtime is, and sometimes I can't find it. Sometimes they don't even have it on the back. So I like each little one right there is shown. Very easy to find, and then they'll have like little blurbs from different film critics and things like that. This one right here has Roger Ebert, and then I'll go ahead and show you. There's the disc artwork, the booklets. It looks like they're in their PJs right there, the long johns. But again, I like usually they have like the poster artwork and behind the scenes information, photos and things like that. And again, interior artwork as well, which I'll go ahead and show you. And in any film about oil and drilling and things like that, makes me think of the movie There Will Be Blood, which is to me one of the best modern American films and probably one of the best American films of all time. Absolutely love that one. Paul Thomas Anderson, and then of course Daniel Day-Lewis, one of the best acting performances ever. It just blows my mind when I just think about that movie, and just his acting in that one's just awesome. But such an amazing film, again, dealing with oil and things like that. So is Oklahoma Crude. So every time I think of any kind of oil movie, that's immediately There Will Be Blood is what I think about. It's just such a phenomenal film. Just gets my blood boiling and pumping thinking about that movie. And just some of the lines, and there's some of the scenes in there. Just, again, one of the best American films of all time for me. So it's going to be hard to live up to that, thinking about that movie. Again, 1973, maybe that kind of gave some inspiration to, one of the films leading up to There Will Be Blood. There's been other films about oil and things like that, but, driving all the way up to something like that. But there could have been influences. I don't know. I got to check this one out to see if there's any similarities there besides just, the concept right there with the oil. Yeah, I'm looking forward to checking this one out. And again, I'm a big fan of the people involved. Jack Palance, Faye Dunaway, George C. Scott right there. Sign me up. Anything that those three are involved in one film like that, I'm definitely looking forward to checking that out. Next up from Warner Archive is Selena. And I saw this years ago. It's been a long time. And, based on the true story of Selena, and she was killed by, like, the head of her fan club, which is just crazy. Just shows kind of, like, fan obsession. And it's, the music, Tejano music, and just how popular she was at that time. She was, unfortunately and sadly, taken kind of like at the height of, her career, the pinnacle of her fame. And Jennifer Lopez, this is like one of the best performances from her. This is like kind of like her breakout role, besides the Fly Girls. Like, but I think she's still very talented. I think of like the movie The Cell. I love that movie. I feel like that's a very underrated movie. And there's been other movies too, but she does like a lot of rom-coms. But I thought this was like really her breakout performance here. And it's been a long time since I've seen it, but I'm looking forward to revisiting it. And it's nice to see it get a Blu-ray release. Warner Archive is doing a lot of great releases as far as the films that they're choosing. A lot of really good horror films too. A lot of like classic films. Speaking of a classic film, Spencer Tracy and Katharine Hepburn and Pat and Mike. And this was interesting because right on the front cover is like, what kind of movie is this? I was like just looking at this. Is it going to be like a musical, like a dance kind of troupe thing? And then I look at the back right here and I read the synopsis. I feel like it's not represented well at all in the pictures here. Apparently it's going to be a golf comedy movie, like a sports comedy movie. It says, I love the way that this reads out. The sun will sneak by a rooster before sports promoter Mike Conovan lets the opportunity pass him by. Like, just that whole thing just cracks me up. The old world terminology, just, you know, the things that they say on here, some of the quips and stuff. But yeah, so basically she is a golfer, and he decides to, you know, give her a pro contract. And what I thought was interesting too, it's going to be like a rom-com in here too, but Aldo Ray is the dim bulb Palooka, and there's another tough guy who finds Pat tougher, and Pat is Katharine Hepburn right here. But there's also sports stars of the day, which I liked. I thought was pretty intriguing. Babe Didrikson, Zaharias, and Gusay Moran, who I am not familiar with. This is add to the Jacks and Jills fun. So it's a Jack and Jill kind of movie, which I think is interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing this one, just for, you know, kind of the period piece of it, seeing these, you know, athletes for the time, and the big stars for the time too. Katharine Hepburn, Spencer Tracy, you couldn't get much bigger than them during that time period. This is from 1952. Spencer Tracy a little bit older right here, but, you know. And next up is Neil Young in Journeys, and I've kind of like mixed feelings on this. This is actually directed by Jonathan Demme. They've worked together before. I want to say something like they worked on one called maybe like Trunks or something like that. Neil Young Trunks, something like that. But he's done music videos and stuff too. Jonathan Demme done a lot of different stuff like that. And of course, he's directed, you know, Philadelphia, Silence of the Lambs, Swing Shift, Rachel Getting Married. He's directed a lot of really good films. Let me know what your favorite Jonathan Demme film is. There's a few others I'm trying to think, like, you know, he's definitely a great director. But again, he's done a lot of different music, you know, documentaries and music videos and stuff too, and worked with Neil Young before. So I think this is pretty interesting here. But I was actually like thinking like this, is this one like I'm going to revisit? I've seen clips of it already, and I'm a big fan of Neil Young. Let me know what your favorite Neil Young song is. And so basically, you know, it's kind of during his tour during 2011, and going over his 2010 album Le Noise. And he also does you know, classics on here too, live performances of Ohio, Hey 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 My, Hey Hey My, I Believe in You, like a whole bunch of other songs, and unreleased songs, Leia and You Never Call. And you know, he's just talking about his childhood and stuff too. He's driving in a 1956 Crown Vic, Crown Victoria, and from his hometown of Omemee, Ontario, to Toronto's iconic Massey Hall, where he's going to perform for 2 nights for his solo world tour. And he's just talking to Jonathan Demme about his youth, and, you know, kind of I guess it's like just a mixture of him talking about, you know, his life and stuff, and then the songs, the live performances. So that's kind of interesting. But it's one of those things, like, I have a bunch of you know, music DVDs and things like that, and Blu-rays as well, where it's, you know, live performances or music videos. I'm like, how often am I going to revisit? Like, some of those ones I've had for years, and I've watched like once. So it's just like one of those ones I have very little space. I've got 11 total bookcases. I've got piles all over the floor, and now I'm kind of thinking like, is this one that I'm going to revisit? I am a big Neil Young fan. I am going to check out this one and give it a fair chance, but I'm just thinking, like, if this doesn't have enough substance for me, if there's not enough of like hearing about his life, I think that would be interesting too. I think that's the big driving part for me. There's an all-new documentary on here too. Again, 12 live concert performances, but it's the concert performances and stuff like that. Like, am I going to revisit it? That's the thing. So again, a lot of special features, it sounds like, here too. But there you go, Neil Young. I am a fan. Some classic rock, you know, kind of like folksy. But yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Do you have like, you know, a lot of music DVDs in your collection? Because again, I actually got rid of a few, and then I decided, you know, to keep some, but I was just like, I really haven't revisited them. And that's the thing. I only want to keep movies in my collection that I'm going to revisit and going to watch again, because otherwise, what's the point of keeping them, you know? But next up is Mighty Oak. This is an upcoming release from Paramount. It has Raven Simone in there, by the way. There she is. And I feel like she's not on the front cover. I feel like I didn't really hear any, you know, kind of like advertising promotion for this with her in it, although she's probably like the biggest star in here. There's other people mentioned that I'm not too familiar with, Janelle Parrish and a few other people. But at first I thought this was going to be kind of like a faith-based film, but it doesn't sound like it. There's a manager in Gina Jackson, and her life is given new purpose when she meets a young guitar prodigy, and she thinks that the young kid right there is the reincarnation of her brother who passed away 10 years ago. The brother was the lead singer of this band called Army of One. So she tries to get the band back together. It's a big mission, and it's from the director of Soul Surfer. So it says, heartwarming story about love, family, and music. So I do like films, based around music and family and things of that nature. It was kind of intriguing, so I'm gonna give this one a fair chance. I haven't heard too much about it. I think the kid's name is Oak. I think that's the part where the title comes from. So we'll see. It's interesting, but again, I feel like it's something too, like The Boy 2 with Katie Holmes in it. That movie, like, she's by far the biggest star in the movie, and I feel like I didn't hear any promotion about her being in that movie. I always think it's kind of odd. Kevin Hart was in a movie, I think it was like School Days or something, not School Days, but like School something, and Cat Williams was, there's one scene with him in there, which was like the best scene in the movie. I can't remember the name of the movie. It was something about school. The movie was terrible, by the way. The only good scene in the whole movie was the Cat Williams scene, which felt like it shouldn't even been in the movie, because it was somebody being like visited, he was visited in prison, and it was like, has nothing to do with really the rest of the movie. Kind of, but that was by far the best part. But anyways, Kevin Hart was in that movie. He was all in it, and there was like no mention of him in the movie, nothing on the front cover or anything. Same thing kind of with this, same thing with The Boy 2 with Katie Holmes. I always find that odd, like, that's your biggest star. That's going to be like your drawing point right there, and you don't promote that. I don't understand the marketing for that, but I digress, and rant right there. Next up is Evil Boy. I've got 3 copies right here. This is from Wellgo USA. I really hate the super generic title right there, Evil Boy. The synopsis kind of reminds me of a recent release from Lionsgate called The Hole in the Ground, which is an Irish horror movie, which I thought was awesome, super underrated. I really enjoyed the heck of it. I didn't hear anybody talk about The Hole in the Ground. I think I briefly mentioned it, but I want to go back to that and actually talk more in depth about that coming up soon. But this right here, I believe this is I'm trying to see on here. It says is this a, yeah, I think this might be a Russian film, because it says on the back, language is Russian and English. So maybe it is just it's a Russian film, perhaps. Director Olga Gorkinsyaka. Probably Russian. After their son disappears, grieving parents adopt a feral boy who begins to eerily resemble their child. The wife believes that it's their son. The son is found. The husband thinks that for sure the boy's dead, and it's not, their child at all. And they suspect they've adopted something not entirely human. Dun dun dun. So yeah, I don't remember this actually promoting that, saying that this was a Russian film, but on the back here it does say that. But to me it sounds very much, maybe it's something just about, Eastern European folklore and things of that nature. I don't want to give too much away, but it reminds me so much when I read the synopsis of the movie The Hole in the Ground. So once I view this and review it, I'll be doing a giveaway for a couple copies here on DVD. It's a DVD only release. And bear with me, I do have a bunch of other giveaways to do. I was actually debating about doing like a bundle giveaway or doing separate giveaways. I think I'm gonna do separate giveaways. I might do more digital copy giveaways coming up soon too, because I feel like I'll do the physical media releases, and I feel like lately I've been getting more entries in for like digital giveaways and stuff like that. Last time I did a digital copy giveaway. So let me know which you guys prefer. Do you prefer physical media giveaways or digital copy giveaways? I remember back in the day, people used to I would do a digital copy giveaway and people were like, oh, where's the movie? I want the movie. And now I feel like it's the opposite. So I don't know, I feel like I'm all about physical media. So I personally would prefer, a chance to get the movie on DVD or Blu-ray. But some people do prefer digital, and to each their own. But I'd like to get input on whoever's watching this, which you would prefer. But I do have a bunch of giveaways coming up soon. Again, I've been kind of slacking on it, but I've got like literally piles over here, and I have to go through them. And I have a few giveaways ready to go. I just have to film them. But this one I'll probably be doing soon, because I actually want to watch this one coming up. So look forward to that one coming up soon. Again, DVD only on that. It's probably going to be U.S. residents only, because shipping outside of the continental U.S. is expensive. Especially, I feel like right now, I heard something about the USPS, like maybe it's just for the holidays, but the prices are going to go up. I read an article about that. But there you go. Those are the pickups. Let me know what you think of them. Let me know if you've seen any of them and which one is your favorite and what I should watch first. The only movie I've seen here is Selena. I've seen clips from Neil Young's Journeys, but I've never seen the full thing for it. And I've seen clips for this one too, but again, not the full thing. But Selena, it's been a long time. So there you go, a bunch of different stuff, very eclectic mix here. Well, I guess Evil Boy is a horror movie, but I was trying to think, like, horror is my favorite genre by far, then sci-fi, and then I've been really getting into westerns lately too. But it's just an interesting mixture. Some musical stuff here with Selena, Neil Young, and I like the classic stuff. Again, Warner Archive is doing some really good releases for classic films and horror movies too. Again, I love what they're doing. I think they announced that they're going to release Killdozer, which I think is awesome. I'm thinking like some of the old Warner Archive DVDs that I have that I would love to see get like a Blu-ray release. If I never thought Killdozer would ever get a Blu-ray release. Maybe The Pack, which is a 70s horror, like dog attack horror movie, which I always love that one. The Breed was kind of like a rip-off of that. And it was never acknowledged as a remake, but it's essentially the same kind of storyline. So I always felt that was kind of weird. But The Pack, there's an Australian horror movie that came out a couple of years, a dog attack one. But The Pack is a completely different one, same name, but from the 70s. And I always enjoy that. I remember like seeing, I liked that a lot as a kid, but like now watching it, thinking about it, it's like, it's going to be a little hokey because I think there's like, all these wild dogs attacking people, and there's like chihuahuas and smaller dogs too in there. It's like, that's kind of funny, but I digress. Looking forward to seeing what Warner Archive releases in the future, though. And I'll be checking some of this stuff out soon. So reviews will be coming soon, as well as the giveaway. But I'm trying to debate what to watch first. I'm going to try to knock out 2 movies tonight. And then, try to get some of the reviews up sooner than later. Especially because I want to do the review for Evil Boy first, and then the giveaway to kind of promote it. But again, this one's coming out September 8th, so that is an early review copy there. But let me know what you think. Leave me those comments down below. And I rambled so much, and I'm sorry for that. I hope you guys still enjoy hearing me talk about movies and seeing what I pick up and stuff like that. I still love talking on here. I've been making videos on here for like 11 years now, which is crazy, mind-blowing. So I think it's kind of awesome. I love talking movies. I love collecting and seeing people's collections on here, and that's what we're all here for, right? To talk movies and share our experiences, our opinions, and our collections and things like that. So thank you for staying tuned, and I hope everybody's doing well. Take care.